Hey everyone, welcome to Collectin and Connectin podcast, episode 4. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on when you're listening and watching. We got a great episode for you today. Got the usual suspects, Mr. Treaticus himself,
What up?
Mr. Cool Cat 3-Ball 34, and man, am I excited. We got Mr. Samuel D, Mr. Badge County, Mr. 1/4 of the weeks, 2 million views, the guy himself. I am so excited to have you on today, man. Welcome.
Sammy D.
Glad to be here. What's good, everybody?
How are things in Badge County?
Things in the county are, like always, just, riding the good vibes, like they are here in Collectin and Connectin.
I love it. Love the county. Always
Badge
love to
County,
visit the
America,
county.
baby.
Yeah, it's just a fun little basketball club,
Hell yeah.
Everything going on with Summer League right now, so it's pretty full up.
Yeah.
It's nice when the chat never dies, We don't need.
It's pretty
no
active
thinking
in there.
season.
That Discord in Badge County. We got it going in the CNC Discord, but you guys are setting an example in there. You guys are always active in that.
Some real sickos in the county.
I love getting the sicko tag. I immediately got to open up and see what's going on.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
We've had Brandon Soul on before, and we talked previously on shot talking and that kind of forming into Badge County. We didn't really know all that background. What kind of happened there? How did you end up taking over the helm, head PG?
So shot talking was like the first kind of community that I found for Top Shot, probably like September, I don't know, sometime late fall 2021. Like the first 7 or 8 months, I joined in February when everybody else pretty much hit it hard in S2. And it was pretty much just like me and a couple buddies. And my buddies were not as obsessed with it as I am. And so when I found Shot Talking, it just seemed like a bunch of people that just nice people. I think that's like so much of it. People that are obsessed with basketball, people that are nice, people that like Top Shot.
Important.
Like it.
Yeah, vibes are really everything. And yeah, so then that kind of like sent me down and everything. And then I got full sicko mode. And then, Jared, aka Thunder Hour, and I were sort of talking about starting. Because Shot Talking was a lot of, it was just kind of all of the Dapper Sports products. It was UFC Strike, NFL All Day. There was even some even the Candy Digital baseball stuff and the Serie A. And so Jared and I were like, I want to do just a basketball, almost basketball before Top Shot. The top tier of what we're obsessed with is basketball. And obviously it's mostly ends up being Top Shot chatter because that's sort of the intersection of our hobbies that we love. So honestly, I think it's been about a year or so since we kind of opened up Badge County, and it's just fun to have a community, and it's fun to kind of exactly what y'all are doing. It's when people are new, there's no better way to sort of get them into the product than surrounding them with people that are helpful, that are sort of, this is, what do you like? What is your sort of, where is your fandom aligned? And we're here to sort of answer some questions that might sound like dumb questions, but there's no dumb questions.
No, that's right.
You don't want to go to Twitter with everything or anything, maybe.
No,
maybe the smaller pools within Twitter, but not to the ether, not to everybody.
Yeah. Once you've muted and blocked everybody, though, isn't it pretty much the same thing?
It is.
It's becoming smaller and smaller when you get that tight knit group together. But now we're growing with the vibes. People are finding us. I look back to DMs. I think I found you in late November, early December of last year in 2022, and you were doing started the podcast, and you and Jared, shout out to Thunder Hour. You guys were killing it and putting out some cool content there. I saw several things you digitally. You're an artist, man. You're coming out with really cool pack art and things that you do for the badge, but you're also just for Top Shot in general. things that. How did you get so creative? Where does that come from? Of you being able to put that stuff down digitally?
I mean, for most of it, for me, for starts with with the band. I just I did all the record covers, all the merch, all the sort of. It's a lot cheaper if you just sort of download the random programs yourself and you just YouTube it your way to figuring it out. So I've been doing that since I was 14 years old.
Not to
to
interrupt, Sammy. Brett said it in the intro, but Sammy is in a band called The Weeks, which is pretty sweet. We've listened to a little bit of it, but just wanted you to know about it in case you haven't heard it. It's pretty sweet. But go ahead, Sammy. Go ahead.
Yeah,
check it out.
Well, since you already interrupted the man, the myth, the legend, I'm going to tag on to it. Not only should you go listen, I didn't realize you designed it, but I got a peach limo shirt on the way, and that is a
nice
shirt, bro. I've been jamming to the buttons. I've been jamming to Girls Like You, the acoustic backyard. I know we're not talking about this now, but bro, I love it, man. So you're on.
Thank you.
Shout out.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's this is really my first. I've never been a social media person, but with the band or with anything, so I ran all the social medias, I did all those things. And you've got to be so lasered into social stuff all the time. But on the personal side, I just never really was. So it was a little weird to exist in the Top Shot world, sort of anonymous, where it's I'm not coming to everything through that. But yeah, so once the team community started popping up last, I guess it was in an official capacity sort of. There's obviously a lot of them that have been around for, I think Jurassic Pack just did 2 years, but the official capacity of the team communities was kind of last May or June, and I just wanted to, make sure that if there was anything I could sort of contribute to these communities to make sure that instead of just sort of whatever they can get up artwork wise that maybe doesn't pop as much and doesn't draw in as many people, just doing my part kind of thing, just figure out what can I do to sort of elevate some of these new team communities that deserve to have this big, awesome banner, that draws the eye in. So I think I honestly ended up doing 20 of the 30 team captain logos and stuff. It just kind of snowballed. It was a lot of fun, honestly. I'm ready for
really cool.
I'm ready for the team community things to pop back up so I can start doing more stuff. I know I've done a couple rounds of merch for a couple of the communities and stuff, but I mean that's where it all sort of comes from though, is just sort of trying to do my part to make sure that all of the communities are set up in the best way to sort of succeed. And because the stuff doesn't really take me too terribly long. It's something that might take one of them a long time. It's I'm just making digital art on my computer all day long.
They got a lot of stuff on their plate, so any help they could get from
exactly.
That, it takes a village.
He
Sammy D's he's a pretty modest guy once you get to know him. I don't know if you guys know that. He's not gonna just brag, but since we were on the thing of the band and talking about it, he is touring and got some cool stuff. But I wanted to bring this up. This is super cool. Looks like a people. Let's see, it hasn't popped up yet. I don't want to ruin the surprise. Where are you at? Come on.
Oh, hey.
There we go. Look at these guys. Y'all are in People. Is this magazine online?
You're tracking me down.
Look at that.
Look at that stud, dude.
When you're famous, it's easy to find you. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You're the real deal, man. So I noticed that the band was a real cool deal. Awesome. I listened to Buttons and several other songs like Brett mentioned, but just wanted to bring that to light because I've noticed just following you, because you don't really talk about it that much, but you're a badass dude, especially musically and things like that. So we're happy to have you in the group, my man.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't really know. At this point, 95% of the people that I follow and follow me back on Twitter and especially just Twitter, it's all Top Shot people. But every once in a while, I remember there's fans of the band that follow that still somehow have not unfollowed me for talking about Top Shot for 2.5 years. They're just riding the wave, I guess. He really likes those video clips, huh?
Well,
did you
I have no
also
idea.
design? Sorry, hold on. Did you also design the week's neon sign?
Yes.
Did you really? That sign is
Yeah.
sick.
That
The
was
really
like,
two crescents on the side and the.
yeah, that was, I found this website that made them so cheap. And I was just like, you know what? Honestly, if the $150 sign like shows up and it works, great. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul.
Worth a shot.
But it's still kicking like 3 or 4 years later.
That's
Nice.
so awesome. That's so great.
Very cool.
I
I
didn't
need
know
one, I need one of those in here.
So bringing the creativeness to Top Shot, you have been creating some things for them. And I noticed a couple things like you would post something for Badge and it would like come up in y'all's feed. And then like a day or two later, it would come up from the main Top Shot feed. And I was like, man, what the heck is going on? Sammy's making some cool stuff. Let's see. The Yoff squad was huge in Badge County during the playoffs. And I saw you creating different things for that, but you were talking about just finding stuff to make things pop. But you made this, correct?
Yeah, I did. Well, like I made it in like the Badge County way, and then they reached out and asked if they could sort of take the concept of it. And I didn't really, I just obviously like I'm here to play ball, so I was like, yeah, just do whatever. Whatever's clever.
It's awesome.
And yeah, and it honestly is pretty much the same thing. Like I thought it was going to be fairly different, but no, it really is just like
pops,
Top Shot
dude.
colors.
But
so much of it for me is like when they drop a blog or when they announce something small and then there's like an hour, 2 hours of Badge County conversations. Like I am a visual learner.
Yeah.
And so like for me, so much of it is just like, how can I synthesize this like 14 paragraph blog into one pretty little picture that my little brain can comprehend?
On behalf of people like me, thank you.
Yeah. We've talked a couple times about that playoff and the redemptions and Champions Path. You guys were really into that and breaking that down. And it was the first time in a while that we thought that there was lots to think about. We didn't know what direction to go. So having people like yourself, people to break stuff down and make it visual and easier to tackle, made it good for some of us and for sure the newer people.
That's awesome, because it's like honestly a lot of it like I said, for me it's just like helping myself explain it to myself. I'm like, I'm just gonna turn the camera on. It's basically just me looking myself in the mirror in the bathroom, and be like, all right, here's what we're gonna do today, Sambo. We're gonna collect this, and that might turn into that. So yeah, if it can help anybody else, that's awesome.
You using dry erase markers on the? Are you Matt Damon and Good Will Hunting?
Yeah, my wife is pissed.
Love that reference. If you ever record one of your morning, like you looking yourself in the mirror things, feel free to send it my way. I can watch it every morning. Maybe it'll help me in my collecting strategy.
My Top Shot affirmations.
Yeah,
Top Shot affirmations.
Morning affirmations for Top Shotters. I like it. We just created a new series.
Alpha. We're gonna create some of those.
You will finish throwdowns tonight.
Listen, that's a great idea for a series of videos. Like,
honestly, you would question so much better than me. That's perfect.
No. It should be. We should do a thing where we get different people in the whole freaking Top Shot community to like do that around what they're collecting.
You can do it.
We can. We're live producing on the air, but we could run a giveaway to send a 15-second video of an affirmation to the account, and then we could just release them once a day for forever.
Yeah, I love it. When you listen to this, send your videos.
Yes.
Send it to us. Send it Badge County's way. We're gonna collab and we're gonna put this thing together.
You will not respond to FUD today. You will not respond to FUD.
Collectin and Connectin at gmail.com.
Think about doing it yourself. Too late. We've already done it. This is coming out later.
So, segue, Sammy, do you really into college ball? And I've heard you talk on the Badge County of how it gives you kind of a insight to these rookies and these NBA players before they even get there. You're basically a scout, and so tell me about that. I know you've been invested in this newest draft and people that got taken, and talk to us about that and that excitement.
Yeah, so I just like basketball for me. I'm from Alabama. My whole family's from Tuscaloosa, so we're pretty entrenched in the University of Alabama.
Roll
And
Tide.
so like roll tide, roll down tide. And and so yeah, for me, like that was basketball. That was like the only thing basketball was the Alabama basketball team growing up. Went to all the summer camps from like the age of like the earliest age you're allowed to go to Alabama summer camp, basketball camp. And yeah, so just grew up obsessed with Alabama basketball, which expands in the SEC. And then, I mean, hell, now with like all the transfer stuff, you just sort of are a fan of everybody. They're all coming from everywhere.
Right.
And yeah, so like, I don't know. I know I've had some fun conversations with Treat about the quality of college basketball.
Well, we thought that just NBA 1 year people leaving would change the quality, and then we thought the G League and that stuff of people not going was going to change the quality. And now the transfer portal, you can go anywhere you want every year. Like,
yeah, the parity's real.
Situation.
And it's nice. Like, there's obviously a lot of negative things about the transfer portal. It's really hard because one of the beautiful things about the college level is that, you feel like, all right, we got this guy, we're going to have him. It wasn't necessarily a contract, but it's like you follow a player from, like when they committed to your team in their junior year of high school, and then maybe they redshirted their sophomore year, and then all of a sudden you've got 5 years of college, and they just become like household names in the state, and now it's just pinging back and forth. But, if a coach can leave for greener pastures whenever, then I think there's no reason a player should be able to follow suit.
That's what I was going to say is they'd be punished back in the day is they'd have to sit out a year for transferring, and a coach could just do it and bounce, year to year. And there's no difference there.
So
it does end up being pretty insane.
Coaches to be locked down, or is it better for players to be able to be free?
I think it's better for I don't like sometimes a coach just needs to go.
I
like player mobility in general. Like I think it helps teams reload in a way, and it just sort of obviously as like an Alabama fan, I'm partial because we're pretty successful in the transfer portal because it's a marquee name that people are like, well, I don't know, maybe I'll go somewhere else. I'll go to Alabama. We haven't lost. We've obviously gained a lot more from the portal than we've lost from it. So, but I think it's better for the sport in general. But yeah, so I just grew up a big college ball fan. March Madness, best time of the year, just bar none,
so
my favorite sporting event in the world.
I grew up that way for sure. I don't necessarily feel the same way anymore, but I definitely lived that way for 2 decades.
Right. Who was your team?
Nobody. Just liked college basketball. My dad was a coach, just like Triticus's, and so we just grew up every March watching that. And we'd watch during the year, Big Monday and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And friends would ask me, "Why are you watching college basketball? During the week?" I don't know. My dad does.
Because it's on television. That's why. It's on.
Because it's on. Our parents, they couldn't find that type of content on regularly at all. Like they were starving for that type of stuff. So the fact that it was on, it was just a cool deal to be able to watch. And same thing as I would know about players before they got to the league. People learned about Shane
that's a really fun part too.
JJ Redick, and you knew about him for 6 years already.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's a really fun part where you sort of like, when you're looking towards the end of the draft and guys like oh Lord, who was it that there's Trace Jackson Davis, so he went to the Lakers. What's the 3-name kid that went to Golden State, like the 57th pick from Indiana? I honestly can't remember his name, so I don't know, my fandom's not treating me too well. But it's just fun to sort of see like you follow certain rookies' career that you may not if you were just like, I'm following the top 10 picks. You're kind of highlighting guys like that 57th pick. You're like, man, I think he can do something.
The sleeper.
Hoping they get a TSD. The sleepers. Everybody loves a sleeper. That's what it's about.
Baby.
Well, I think this year, like I'm excited about Walsh for the Celtics. He was my favorite Razorback, even though he wasn't the highest touted. He felt like every time I watched the Razorbacks play, which wasn't a lot, he worked hard. He defended. He was getting after it. So.
Yeah,
I like him as a player.
And there's nothing better than so JD Davison went to Alabama. Yeah. I was with the Celtics. Mm-hmm. Just got signed to a 2-way contract yesterday.
I saw that.
Nice. It's just nothing better than exactly.
Now, Antonio McDyess was the first Alabama basketball player. You know, obviously football's the shit there, but first Alabama basketball player I think I was ever like aware of and really rooted for.
Yeah, those 90s Wimp Sanderson teams were no joke. Latrell Sprewell, Robert Horry, Antonio McDyess, Hollywood Robinson. I mean, they're stacked.
Ballers.
They were hard not to know about. They were definitely noticeable.
Yeah, some fun teams. But yeah, so obviously Brandon Miller this year is like, I moved to Charlotte like a year and a half ago or so. And I've never really had an NFL team either. I just sort of like, I follow the Alabama players, which early in my life there was really none from like in the 90s. It's really just like Sean Alexander. That was really but that was all the way in Seattle, and so it was sort of hard to follow anyways. But obviously, like, you know, once you hit the Saban era, it just got to be like, oh, I'm going to follow Julio and Mark Jones or Mark Ingram. And then, you know, and then it just gets so insane that you're like, I don't know, I'm just an NFL fan, I guess. So I've been looking for a reason. I was like, when I moved here, I'm like, please, you sports gods, give me any reason to pull for the Panthers and the Hornets.
It's a lot to ask.
And they listened. I got Bryce Young and I got Brandon Miller in a span of like 2 months.
There you go. Look at that.
There it is.
Look.
That's sweet, dude.
There he is. You called it. You made it happen.
I just got to call my shot.
Dude, you got to.
I can't. I'm so like, I know, and he hasn't had like, you know, probably the summer league that he wanted or a summer league that, you know, I wanted. But it's summer league.
Yeah,
you know,
it's hot.
That Hornets team is one of the worst professional basketball teams ever assembled.
They're struggling.
What a cool mascot, though.
I know we're going to talk about it more on next week's episode with Davey, who was just in Summer League. But, man, isn't that such a cool thing they're doing in Vegas and making it a big deal, getting people there? It is really cool, the event they're making it into.
It's just for sickos, you know? Like, it's sicko mode.
It really is.
Because the basketball game's like, how good is the basketball actually? It's not about, it's like, it's about the experience, you know, like I'm seeing these players' first professional minutes. I'm watching these guys that are like maybe 23, 24 years old, like work their way into, you know, a two-way contract, into an Exhibit 10 that, you know, it's just fun.
Yeah,
they're still grinding. They're still chasing the dream. Yeah, you gotta love that. I'm watching it, and my family's like, "What are you watching? NBA Summer League." What?
They got Mark Jackson, Doris. I mean, it's on regular ESPN. I mean, they're wanting people to watch it, and I think they're getting some eyeballs. It's a cool deal.
Have y'all noticed? This has been driving me crazy. So, so Mark Jones and Doris are doing the Wembanyama games, and Mark Jones continues to say Wembanyama with an N, and it drives me nuts.
I haven't noticed that.
They have been absolutely pile driving this narrative that like he's the greatest, he's already a Hall of Famer, he's already just, you know, locking in. And it's like you'd think that they'd be like, guys, let's really, it's just clearly a word that he struggles with, which is fair.
He can't say Doncic yet either, and he's been in the league for 4 years, 5 years.
Sometimes it happens.
Who?
And he needs that morning affirmation of like Wembanyama.
Record it and send it to him, and it can change everything. He can watch it.
Exactly. Wimby, Victor. There's options. Like you don't have to struggle.
There are options. You could use the first name, right?
Yeah.
To be fair, I do this all the time to 3-ball 34 in our friendship over the years. I always knowingly mispronounce things or grammatically will spell "there" wrong, knowing and waiting for the moment he corrects me with an asterisk.
Think about how much we're talking about moments and stats and things. And he's like, you know, that Kristoff moment? And I'm like, stop. Kristoff.
Yeah, it's like listening to my dad. My dad can't even pronounce like he calls Pat Connaughton Pat Connaughton. And it drives me crazy. And now he's like so zeroed into it.
Probably what I'm going to be calling him from now on.
I love it.
It kind of has a ring to it.
It does. It's not horrible.
3-ball calls me out in Discord and everything when I say that I use the wrong word. He's an English teacher for us all. Grammar
hammer.
Grammar police.
Trying to be all excited about people snipping moments. It's sniping moments.
Snipping and
baby.
sniping, baby.
Snip, snip.
Oh man. So you've accomplished something pretty cool here recently, and I know it's basically what Badge County is about, but you created a artistic way of showing us all, and I think it's created some FOMO for some people, but trying to get 100 out of 100 of these 4 Badgers, dude.
So
This is awesome.
Huge.
It took forever to make.
Holy
That is
So
literally
cool,
like
dude.
right click, copy, paste 100 times.
It's probably the
Unbelievable.
coolest thing you've made.
I want this on a poster, like
Yeah,
poster
yeah.
size. Like that would be sick, bro.
Put
I'm into
Badge
it.
County in the top right corner and just sell that thing.
Honestly,
Well,
you're not
apparently we're going to be
wrong.
able to do that soon,
Man, we're
right?
dropping ideas left and right.
Yeah, if you
Right.
own the IP, you're going to be able to make posters and sell it,
Hi-yo.
right?
They don't just go on
I'll make
shirts, I
this.
guess.
I'll pirate it. I'll go guerrilla style, even if that's not what they're talking
Just
about.
Napster.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling
Yep.
you, man. I think you're going to be able
Backseat
to.
of the trunk,
Just gonna lime wire it.
Selling them
bootleg.
So
nutcakes,
many
baby.
big references.
Beautiful.
So give me a top 2 or 3 moments in here. What's stuff that just jumps off the page to you that you are just so proud that you can't stop looking at?
I mean, honestly, like the Paolo's the best one. The Paolo is like, because I feel like the S1, so there's only one, obviously, with the RJ Barrett. And then S2, you're not really locked. At that point, I wasn't really locked into like, let's see, I came in like halfway through S2. So I didn't watch those games, watching the rookies being like, okay, I want to watch, I've got 10 screens on my league pass, ready to kind of figure out what are these rookie premieres going to be. And S4, I think, was the first time that I was watching these moments with the intent of like, trying to watch live what these 4Ks were going to be.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Paolo for me, I think was the one that we all, sometimes it's like, there's a good game here. And so you're like, I think this might be the moment. Or obviously sometimes you've got like the Bryce McGowan where it's like, they only did one thing. And so that's going to be their 4K. But with Paolo, it was like unquestioned. This was like the play of the week. You're all watching, all eyes are locked in on him. And he just posters a dude,
Yep.
It's awesome. It's a sick moment.
Yeah, it just sort of started where I'm like, I didn't have any 4Ks hardly at all, maybe like a year and a half ago. And then once I started like thinking about the concept of like what it is, and it probably did start too from sort of conceptualizing the idea of the community of Badge County. They're like rookies. Like that's what sports collectibles are all about.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously, like we were saying, like you've got the college basketball tie-in, so you've got some fandom baggage that these guys already had. Like a guy like Tari Eason. Tari Eason, when he was at LSU, gave Alabama the business, and he was awesome. Jabari Smith gave Alabama the business, and so you just get sort of like, I watched this dude play a game. And I watched him play a couple games, and he's got it. Like I'm not, and it ties in again sort of to the rookie revelation stuff where it's like, it's a rookie year. Jimmy Butler averaged like 0.8 points his rookie year.
Yeah.
So it's like, these are long-term collectibles. This is not something where it's like, you're not buying it because, they're going to become the best player ever in year 2. And so I'm going to buy it for 10 and sell it for 1,000. It's like, I think that rookie premieres is like the coolest thing on Top Shot. It's just like rookie moments, rookie cards are cool. Rookie moments are better. The very first game, and how many? 63 of them are their first career points.
That's awesome.
It's just about as cool as it gets. And that's to me like what the heart of Top Shot is. And I think when we were coming up with the idea of Badge County and what these badges sort of signify, I sort of locked in like, I don't know if it's possible. Like, I don't know like which way the market's going to go in S4. And there was a couple little hairy moments, like when they did the rookie burning leaderboard.
Yeah.
Some of these things,
those moments go nuts.
yeah, they kind of got away from me a little bit. And I was calling for the I really, really wanted them all to be released. I think that's been like something we talk about in the county all the time is like unreleased supply and what do we do with it. But I think the only thing we can agree on is that like I'm so ready to not be talking about unreleased supply.
Oh God, yes.
What do you mean?
Before we get on a tangent on that, you made a point there. I want to make sure. So it sounds like you really like that they took the 4K rookies out of the base set and made the rookie debut set. It sounds like that they're celebrating those moments. They're making them more exclusive. You like that that's a set of its own
package.
Yeah, I like the curation element of it. I think that like in S2 and S3, like that was the fun part of ripping, that's like the golden part of those base sets. And so like I think when you take them out of the base set, it kind of takes away from the base set a little bit. You've obviously, I think there's like 9 rookies, 9 rookie debuts in the base set in Series 4. So I think going forward, like I'd love rookie debut to be all the rookie debuts. They're all minted to 4K. It's just that the premieres, they get that extra badge. And so like the Christian Browns, the Mark Williams, the Jaden Hardys, like those guys still have the scarcity in their Top Shot debut. It just doesn't have that added level of importance that it came from like the very first game.
Right.
I like it. It. Now segue to whatever you wanted to. I just wanted to make sure I heard about that. We're all collectors in this room of the debut set. We love it. So we're all on the same page. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, unreleased supply. We're still talking about the past. Let's get it over with. Let's
close.
Move on.
And obviously I understand, when we're dealing with like these S4s, especially specifically these S3 4Ks where it's like people had to buy the Jock Landales when they were 15% in circulation if they wanted to get the contemporary team set, the S3 team set. And so like in certain ways, like, obviously they weren't forced to, but if they wanted to compete in these leaderboards and they wanted to get access to these, at the very least, get access to the team discourse. And so the Austin Reeves, the Jock Landales, like there's a handful of these that just never really, they were being released at the end of Series 3 and they just didn't quite get out there. And so everybody's got bags. I'm just tired of talking about bags. I think 4Ks are 4Ks and they need to be like Omer Yurtseven doesn't need to be the price of Jalen Williams just because there was like some random inorganic anomaly that happened in April of 2022. That's not what when you bring in new users, they're going to be confused. You want these prices to like line up with their ability, their, the hype around them and sort of their potential. You don't want it to be like something created.
Hard to explain away that blip on the radar. Don't worry about that little guy.
Like if the users burned it, then it's a totally different thing. Be like, there was this fun thing that they did where they allowed us to burn this, and it just so happened that it organically through the users was burned and became the bottleneck of the 4Ks or whatever it was. But so I'm happy they did it. Obviously, there's a lot of people that bought these very inflated prices, myself included. But we won't be talking about that. I think again, Series 4 is fire, and they got all those things out right in time.
Right.
And there was no I guess there was technically some like brief little moments where like the Josh Minot and the the Kenny Hustle 4K were like at like 4%, and people were still buying them at like $50. Like, guys, calm down. Like, give it 3 days. Breathe.
Well, people aren't watching the moment, so why would they look farther into the numbers of that type of stuff? They're just checking and buying out.
There's a new moment.
I love Kenny Hustle.
Check recent solds, check the offers, check how much is released.
They're providing us with these tools to like make sure that we're making informed decisions. And it's like I said, like I bought things at 15% circulation, and then you get down the road, you're like, boy, I wish I didn't do that. I knew it.
Did it?
And I still did it.
I did it too. There's several of the 4Ks that I wouldn't have owned if I wasn't just trying to complete all the S3 team sets. And there's people that I ended up getting just because I was trying to get that team set done.
Yeah. No,
No telling what I
100%.
paid for those.
Yeah, the $80 Austin Reeves. You know,
There you go.
$90 Austin Reeves. That thing exploded for a bit there.
It did.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
did.
Now my golden rule is just find out what 3 balls bidding on and bid $1 higher. It makes it easy.
Hey,
That's a really
Kinda
good
like
strategy.
You know?
print it.
But I mean, that's your love for the rookies. It kind of started a whole movement in the CNC. Like it became, you know, if you're not collecting these rookies, you're not really a collector kind of thing.
What are we doing? What are we doing if we're
this
not
whole
collecting
pressure.
rookies, guys?
And I'm so glad now that I followed suit. You
Me
know,
too.
I was like, I was totally peer pressured into it. But now that I have that,
Good.
Twice because you sold
Yeah,
out of it.
I
And you
sold
came
out.
back.
I sold out and then I got back in.
You know, honestly, I did have like a really quick thought today of like my series 4, like my rookie debut stuff isn't locked.
What?
And I'm just watching that. No, it's not. I don't. I'm a fan of blocking. I've got like half of my account is locked, but I don't have it locked. But I don't have to have it locked.
Soon it's not going to be because everything's on.
It's pretty much if it's in my account, it's fairly locked.
Yeah. And I just, there's stuff I want. When I'm scrolling through to figure out what I want to sell, that's why I lock stuff, because then I can filter out everything I don't
That's
want
what
to.
Brett does too.
Yeah, and so then the stuff that's not locked is I will sell at some point.
Sell a whole lot. I think that's part of the reason I don't lock a whole lot is like I kind of zero, and I spent so much time in like series 2 and even series 3 where you're just sort of wandering aimlessly through the fields of Top Shot. I'm like, I don't know what I want. I just like that's cool right now, I guess. And I feel like I've been talking about it a lot on the kind of all season on the Badge County podcast. Just sort of like it feels like, especially for the people who have been here since 21, early 22, whatever, like it feels like we're starting to figure out, every collector's starting to figure out, like, this is my niche. This is my thing. I'm like all in on Mavericks. If a player gets traded to the Mavericks, I go buy their TSD. Or I'm all in on rookies. Or I know some people that are like,
don't buy Mavericks. None of you don't look up Hardy. Don't nothing. Go away. Go look up the Hornets. They have a great basketball team. Brought to you by CNC.
They don't have anything. I like literally when the night that Brandon Miller got drafted, I was like, all right, let's buy Hornets moments. I'm like, I'm good. I'm okay. I couldn't find a whole lot that, like, honestly, the ones I really loved, I already had. I love the Mark Williams, MGLE. I was talking about it in the Discord yesterday, just sort of like there's a couple of these rookies this year that don't have 4Ks, but do have rares. And to me, like, those are sort of the, the de facto, like, really collectible moment from their rookie season.
Gotcha.
We've got the Jaden Hardy throwdowns coming out. It's out, but
no one. That's not.
It's never coming out. It's a different player, actually. You're right. He's not getting one.
Never coming out.
You're right.
I love how much you talk about him. You know, we're obviously huge Mavs fans, so having somebody worth that people are bringing up is definitely an exciting feeling.
It started.
So he's got a throwdown. Huh? He's got a throwdown coming out, and you guys are both throwdown collectors for the whole set.
All three of us, actually. Yeah, me, Sammy,
all
D,
three of you.
Oh, we got
never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
This is the Well podcast.
But
welcome to Top Shot Wells.
What I'm hearing is that Series 4 is fire. Take a look at that shirt, King Brett.
Hey,
Series 4 is fire. Heck yeah, dude.
Fire, bro. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, kind of like the whole Jaden Hardy thing for me started. I can't stand Kyrie. And so obviously, like,
you bite your tongue.
I mean, that is like the bedrock of all of it. And don't worry, let's check back in 6 months and we'll see how you feel about Kyrie.
How you feel?
If you want to send anyone over,
it's early. Talk. It's early.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was watching the way that sort of went down last year, and obviously when Luka and Kyrie were out, Jaden Hardy just balled out.
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
And nothing's more collectible. I mean, rookies are awesome. Rookie guards, that's like I love Mark Williams. I love Tari Eason. I love Jabari Smith. I love these guys, but they're bigs, and the bigs are just like never really gonna have. They're not wings. They're not even kind of wings, and so they just don't have that ceiling. You know, that somebody like Jaden Hardy that can drop 35 points in
unbelievable
25 minutes.
Position I played in college is kind of wing.
Kind of wing's fine. Like kind of wing, you have the ceiling. It's like the Paolo. Like Paolo, all of a sudden is like when you look up and you're like, wait, he's like 6'11", but he's still got that wing kind of capability that a guy like I think Tar Eason, like I mean, obviously he can grow into it, but anyway, so like Jaden Hardy was
he's at
balling.
least spacing up to the basket at the 3-point line.
Exactly. And with Jaden Hardy, I was like, I don't think Kyrie's coming back. I think that like Kyrie's going to LA. He's going somewhere else, maybe in a sign and trade, all that stuff to Philadelphia. And Jaden Hardy's going to be playing like kind of a much bigger role next year. And so I actually realized yesterday I was the first marketplace buy of the Jaden Hardy rookie revelation.
Get out of here.
I didn't realize that. I was making sure that nobody got me
brought you on this show.
That moment was so badass. That legendary.
There we go. Here we are.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I was like, at that point, it just takes one. It was my first legendary marketplace buy ever.
Nice.
And so, like,
congratulations.
It being a rookie, I was like, okay, well, now I'm the biggest Jaden Hardy fan in the world, I guess. So, go team.
Yeah, go
team. We got both of you guys as honorary Mavericks fans now that we had a Grant Williams move down to Dallas. I appreciate both of y'all extending your fandom to Dallas.
Yeah. And so, like, when Kyrie is gone, I'll be like, I'm all in, you know?
Okay.
So, how do you
work on that? We'll connect back here soon.
That brings up a good question. How are you feeling about the off-season moves?
For the C's?
For the C's, yeah.
Running back, baby. Like, I hate that Grant's gone. I mean, it's like, I think that was a bad mistake. Just because, what he was available for.
Right.
Run it back. These guys are 25, 26. Everybody needs to chill out. Like all they do is go to conference finals and finals. That's just like what these group of guys are doing, and they're 25, 26 years old. Chill.
What about Marcus?
I was going to say, not to tease this week's moment by moment, but Marcus Smart. What about losing him? Grant Williams is a tough loss, but that's
Marcus Smart. That hurts. Loss. It hurts. It kind of like it's still. I'm still not 100% ready to talk about it.
Sorry.
He's just like he's the Celtics.
You've been throwing Kyrie in our face like crazy. So
That's fine. It's fine. You're gonna make me cry on a podcast. It's okay.
Horford's not getting younger. I mean, he's a big part of the team.
He was.
Yeah. No, I definitely. Rob Williams has got to be healthy, but like I don't think talking about health is like really a thing that you should talk about in an off season, like unless somebody's coming back from like a catastrophic knee injury, but like nagging, like Robert Williams gets these nagging injuries, and it's just sort of like, or like weird injuries. It's like talking about Gordon Hayward's health, where he didn't really have anything like structural. He just breaks a finger every now and again and breaks a foot, and he just can't help himself. But it doesn't actually mean they're like injury prone. But yeah, so like Rob Williams obviously got to stay healthy. Yeah, I guess we'll see what Peyton Pritchard's role is going to be looking like.
That'll be interesting, won't it?
I think he plays some defense. It's a pretty significant change. Like he's obviously better on the offensive side than Marcus Smart. Like Marcus did not have his best year last year. That's just a fact. But
they didn't have the playoff run that y'all wanted, but from an outsider's point of view, it was fun to watch. I mean, they had a really good year. Didn't finish.
Yeah, I would pretty much just run it back. I know it's like a boring answer, but it's like I think this idea. I don't want Damian Lillard for if we got to send out Jaylen Brown. I don't care what. Honestly, for the assets, we probably I guess if all we have to beat is like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, like maybe we could put together like a Peyton Pritchard, Robert Williams, somebody else, you know, if they can find some other package that doesn't have Jaylen Brown in it, I'm down. But obviously the Damian Lillard stock is way down right now for me.
Y'all should get more undrafted players like Miami.
So, that's the ticket. Thank you.
Oh my God.
We had Max.
Sorry, Treat.
I mean, all of us were undrafted. We're pretty amazing. So
I just like I wish Jimmy Butler wasn't in Miami because like I just don't want to like Miami at all. But I love Jimmy Butler.
I love that you said that. It's a great way to describe the feeling.
What do you? I mean, Are we going to be that different that next year with this the
I
new
hope
Big
not.
Three?
Um,
How does that look
yeah.
that much different?
Oh, with if we were to pull off something for Lillard?
No. With the trade for
with
Port,
Kristoff.
yeah. You're
What is it? Kristoff? Is that what we call him?
There you
Yeah,
go.
thank you. I didn't want to correct you, but
Frozen too.
Zingas.
I don't like
Kristoff
Porzingis. I'm not a fan at
You
all.
lost your two best defenders probably from the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And Kristaps, having had him on the Mavericks, I mean, he can block some shots and he's going to help, but he's not your core defensive guy.
No, and I don't know. I mean, I think it's just another year of growth. Like it's worth a shot with Kristaps. You know, it's like he provides an offensive burst at the position that we just haven't really had.
Yeah.
In a long time. You know, he's obviously not like the defensive presence that KG is, but like he kind of plays that role as of that like 7-foot stretch 5 that we just haven't had in a long time.
He can flat shoot it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
3 and mid range.
Continues
that's
to.
That's what's intriguing to me is the if they're able to spread the floor, and I mean it is with Jalen and Jason and him on the floor. How are you going to defend those guys, right? I mean, how are you going to those are some premier
I would prefer we go guard heavy because I think that like we have no bigger issue than ball handling. It's like I don't even really. It's hard to even talk about. It's so bad. It's like what's your worst strength? Dribbling. Like how are we talking about dribbling being an issue in the NBA? But nobody can do it, and so now. Like, I mean, Brogdon is supposed to be like this, you know, I think he obviously was 6th man of the year, did not have a great playoff run necessarily. But yeah, I think ball handling is our biggest thing. And obviously Jaylen Brown can't do it. And Jason Tatum shouldn't have to do it too much. He's capable.
It feels like sometimes they just lose focus, right? Expect the other team to lay down. It's not going to happen. You're not that good. You've never won a championship. And then
it's so painful. Like, I can't believe it's so bad. It was so bad to watch them take the air out of the ball with like 7 minutes to go. It's like, what are we doing?
And I saw it in the Hawks series. I was like, this is not whatever we're thinking we are, we're not, right? Yeah. Like you blew them out, but this is the NBA. Everybody can play. You gotta stay after it. You got to get after it all the time. I don't know why I think
the biggest things to me, the biggest upgrades, like, hate losing Smart, hate losing Grant. I think Grant had a tough time with Missoula. Like, he just didn't really fit into the year one game plan. And I'm excited to have an off season for Joe Missoula. He obviously got thrown into the fire in the preseason last year. Loved the assistant coach hires.
Yes, that's a good call.
I mean, Sam Cassell and what's the guy who's at Duke? Who's a Duke player? And he's been on the Duke bench for the last 4 or 5 years. I can't remember his name, but I mean, I think we need more. It's funny, like losing the defense. That just stay focused. We just need somebody to just get in there and be mean to everybody.
You know, let's go back to last summer. Like, don't have sex with front office wives.
Step 1.
Dribble the basketball.
Just want to take that moment. Thank everybody for listening to our Boston Celtics podcast.
I had a poke and a punch. That defined this season.
I knew when he got real serious and he dropped his voice down that he was about to go somewhere inappropriate.
the poke and the punch.
Stop saying the word poke, okay?
The teams that were in the finals the year before got anyway.
Sammy, you are the man, dude. Keep creating really cool stuff, man. We are so happy to have you in CNC and part of the group. I love chatting with you every day in the Badge County Discord and our Discord. We're having a good time, dude, and I appreciate being a part of it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
Good times, man. Good times. Dude. Always.
Appreciate y'all, everyone watching, listening, tuning in, Morse code listening, however you're doing it. Keep on keeping on. Collectin and Connectin podcast, episode 4. We'll see you next time.
Get it.
Yes, sir.